Hey everybody, I'm Rick Beato. Writing a good melody is very difficult. A lot of people think, it's easy to write melodies that connect with people, whether it's pop songs or whether you're John Williams writing the theme to Indiana Jones or Star Wars. But writing great melodies is actually very difficult. One of the things that I like to stress when I'm teaching people about melody writing is that you have to have interesting movement over the bass line. What you don't want to do is you just don't want to mimic what the bass is doing. You want to have interesting intervals above it where you don't have parallel fifths. An example of parallel fifths would be if you had the chord progression D, C, G and the melody was this. Da, 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 da. Well, the reason it's parallel fifths is because the melody on the first chord, on the D chord, is this note A. And on the C chord is G. Well, those are both a fifth above the bass note. And they're parallel because they're right next to each other. Da, 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 da. To make them unparalleled fifths, you have to put in some movement or change the melody. To make it move, you can actually add a little counterpoint and do something like this. That's a very simple change, but what it's done is add a little bit of counterpoint. I'm going from the fifth of this chord to the sixth, and then it becomes the sixth of this chord, then down to the fifth, and then down to the fifth of the G chord. What it does is avoid those parallel intervals, which sound bad. Much more interesting. What you want to be able to do is you want to be able to play the melody and the bass line at the same time. I'm going to do it on the guitar here and have it make sense and should sound like a complete piece where they're not just mimicking the same thing. I'll give you a couple examples here. If I take a song like Clarity by Zedd. Fear for the selfish pain, it was worth it every time. If I start on that first chord, the first chord is actually a B flat minor 11. You don't hear a lot of roots in it. There's one there, but not there. There. They could. The real chord is really A flat, but they do it first inversion like this. But it comes right off it immediately, and then that D flat major seventh chord resolves right to the fifth, from the sixth to the fifth. But the bass motion sounds really interesting, and it sounds like the song just by playing the bass line. If you go to the chorus, you can hear that it sounds like a classical guitar piece. It's not doubling the roots. It has its own separate melody that's using notes other than the bass notes. Another example is John Mayer's song Clarity. It's on a G chord, root, fifth, third, and then on the D chord it goes root, fifth, third, same thing. Dun, dun. So right there it goes root, major 7 to the fifth. It sounds complete just with the bass line and the melody. And that's really what you want your melodies to sound like. I'll give you an even better example. You get into more sophisticated songs like Something by George Harrison. I've talked about Something a lot, but it's just a great example of bass line and of chord and melody arrangement together. So it starts like this on a C major chord. Then it goes C major and it goes to the seventh there. Then it goes... You're on a C7 chord, and you're on the flat 7. And then we're on there's F major, so going fifth to the third, and then it goes, and then on the D chord, root to the flat 7, and then on the G chord, third. See how it all harmonizes together? And then the chorus. So I've got the A minor. So he's going off the root to the third, to the 11th. And then you've got the A minor 7. And then to the 5th of the D chord there. And then this part. So we're on F major. 3rd, 5th, 3rd, 5th of the E flat chord. And then the 3rd of the, it's an inverted G major chord. Perfect voice leading. Then when it goes to the bridge there, it goes to the 3rd of the A major. Perfect voice leading there. The bass line is complete within itself. The melody is doing something separate from the bass. There's all this harmonization that's going on with it. It sounds complete just with the two parts. Another person I like to talk about regarding this is Kurt Cobain, because he wrote incredibly strong melodies. I use On a Plane, which I did a What Makes a Song Great on. Okay, so if I just play the bass and the melody. Once again, flows perfectly. What you want to do, take your song that you've written, simplify it down to just the bass part and the melody, and play it together on the guitar or the piano. It should sound like it's complete within itself. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Remember to subscribe. If you're interested in the Beato book, it's on my website at rickbeato.com. And also think about joining the Beato Club. There's a lot of extra lessons, live streams, PDFs there. Thanks for watching.